Hello. So we are up on the top of McClure Pass. Not a particularly, alright, fix this for you. There we go. Yeah, not a particularly high pass. Doesn't really get a huge amount of snow, and they do a good job of keeping it clear in the winter. It's usually rockfall in the fall and the spring, which you have to watch out for up here. But even though it's not particularly high pass, I think it's around 9,000 something feet, maybe 9.7, 9.8, I'm not sure. I'll put it up on the screen. But you can see there's an abundance of aspens, which is what I'm up looking for. I'm just parked by the main highway, just to see if there's any great big fat vistas. You can see some of the aspens are almost peaked, but they're just individual, few individual ones. The bulk of them haven't got there yet. I think the forecast for this area was September 22nd or 23rd on. Ooh, love those berries, huh? Beautiful splash of red. Yeah, so I'm just moseying on down here to overlook, if I remember rightly. It's honestly probably been, Jesus, 20 years since I've been up here. I came to Colorado in 2006. Yeah, I bet it's been 20 years since I've actually stopped here. Driven over it many, many times, but actually coming down here and taking a look, I have not done in a long time. But like I say, I'm just wrecking. It is about 8:30, and not really shooting. I'll be back next week. Kimmy is off to a conference, and I will actually end up with the dogs with me, which never makes for easy photography. But they are my kids, so I have to do my duty. I could leave them at home and they do great on their own, but it's not fair. They'd love to be up here. Trouble is, of course, I think it's hunting season. I think we're in the bow season now. Not 100% sure on that, but I have to put their little orange jackets on. You can see. Sorry about that. It's probably a really horrible. That'll turn out really horribly on the video, but yeah, I got that on there just to try and help. Got nothing on my chest, so I don't particularly want a broadhead coming through and making my day unpleasant. And the nice thing about here is, as you can see, it's a dirt road. It's actually really nice, and you can drive quite a ways back here, if I remember rightly. I've got my good topographical map with me. Jesus, I got so many. I'm trying to think. We got one GPS for the dogs, one other GPS for us, and then I also have a like a fancy spot GPS satellite rescue thing. It's a few years old. It's a Delorme. What's it called? Garmin bought them out. But oh, the Explorer. I think 2SE. Yeah. Looks like some mountain lion prints. Nice. Alright. So we can certainly see colours change on this side, which is nice, but nothing particularly viewable. What I'm trying to look for is down the valley this way. That's looking back towards Mount Cypress and Carbondale that way. So I'm not going to go too much further. Just up to this corner. Take a look, see. So I did grab my at the falls. I did grab my 7200 out with my little 11 to 16 on it. But I was going to do a vertical pano, but I don't have a L bracket on that 7200. So I put my I think it was my Vanguard Arca Swiss plate on my Enduro Arca Swiss head and tripod, and wasn't until I tipped it over to try and do a vertical and I noticed it was slipping really bad. So it's only like off by maybe a millimeter, but luckily I noticed it and didn't dump my damn camera and lens. So I'd like to. That's Carbondale down that way, looking right back into the sun. Hope that's not too bad, but that's the big bugger there is Mount Cypress. At 12,900 feet. But if I go with a longer lens, there's going to be streaks of gold all across these hillsides. There's an awful lot of fir trees. Oh well. So just come around this corner. There's another bunch of another grove of aspens, and their leaves are gone. Just about. There's some green, some yellow, and some without. It may just be one of those really patchy years. Yeah, I've got no real overview anymore. So try not to fall through the cattle grid and break my neck. Just looking. Sorry, this selfie stick is a bit wobbly. I just kind of. That sun was down behind the mountain, catching sidelight. So if that's further down there, catching sidelight on Cypress. If that little oak wasn't there, I could kind of frame that with the aspens, but those leaves are going to be gone so quickly. But here's the other grovers. Some greens, some yellow, some gone in the same grove. Interesting. There's little trails you can see. You can zip off everywhere, but yeah. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this, so I kind of know where and when to come. Apps are great. Photopills is wonderful. I still have to go back to YouTube and watch Raphael. He's a very nice chap. I met him in Moab for a workshop I was doing. Nice guy. Good photographer as well. And I can't remember if it's actually his app or he developed it with some friends, or he's just like the representative. I think he developed it. But Photopills is a great app, but it is pretty involved. But it's, I think, the best one out there that I've come across. And it's great for planning, but nothing beats boots on the ground. So yeah, that's why we're doing it. And now I'm gonna drop down the other side of McClure for a ways. Not quite get to Peonia, which is kind of the best growing region close to my home. Wonderful, wonderful farms there. Pioneer, Austin, Hotchkiss, all around those areas. They have great fruit and veg. They have a short growth season, but man, peaches and stuff and cherries we get from there, fan-frickin-tastic. Maybe I'll do that today. I'll pass one of those stands. If they've got some cherries and peaches, I'll pick some up. Yeah, it's an absolutely spectacular day. It's supposed to be low 60s for the peak. Cloudless, pretty much. Not so good for photography. But there's some stuff on the ridge lines over there. So much for the forecast. But one thing I always do like, and it's so cliche, is getting those aspens when they're like that against that blue sky, especially when they're framed with the green like that. If there was, you know, something foregroundy, a little creek or a little pond or a nice interesting rock or some leading lines or any of the other usual shit we all look for, I'd certainly go for that. But like I say, I'm not overly concerned with actually shooting today. I did do some stuff at that waterfall. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. The damn 7200 was falling off of the tripod, so it was just about tight enough to hold the camera, the plate and head, just about enough to hold it together. But I had to do landscape orientation for that, and it wasn't really what I wanted. I had to do a bunch of different exposures. Just the contrast was so high. I don't think I have an adapter for my filters that I didn't bring today. For that Tokina lens I have, and there was so little sky, but that was like super bright. And then the first layer of rocks at the top were very bright, and then somewhat bright, and then deep dark shadows. So yeah, I did like 3 or 4 exposures. I'm still tired. Exposures of each shot. So I'm gonna try and I'll basically do an exposure blend of, depending how good they are or what I can pull out in Lightroom. Probably blend 2, 3 or 4 of those together. Once those are done, I'm happy with those. I'll try and stitch that all together for a little pano. So I'll have beautiful red rocks on the left and nice waterfalls on the right. So, like I say, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I'll be looking at Nick Page's great tips on exposure blending, and Blake Rudis. Blake's fantastic. If you need any Photoshop or camera raw stuff, he is the man. I actually bought his, I met him in Moab as well, on the photography workshop, and I was so impressed I bought his Photoshop course. He's very methodical, and he builds very logically one part to another part to another part, and the stuff's fantastic, but it's so much. I can't remember how many sessions there are. I want to say over 100, and I was a little bit lazy this summer. Didn't continue to do my course when it was downtime for landscape photographers, and now of course this is all going off, or starting to. So I have so many damn images and just trying to do them as I go, but I don't mind it so much. I have my Big Mac upstairs, and I can open my windows and just poodle along. Have lovely views, and yeah, I can do it that way, maybe with a nice glass of whiskey. Oh, nice winter style beer. Sam Adams Oktoberfest, I'm talking to you. Yeah, alrighty, latest.